Hey friends, welcome back to Find the Joy with Jen. I am so glad you're here today. I want to talk about something that hits so close to home for so many of us walking the road of faith after divorce, especially when life doesn't look anything like you thought it would. There's a book that I love. It's called The Gap and the Gain by Dan Sullivan and Dr. Benjamin Hardy. It's been around for a couple of years. You may have heard it, but I believe its core message can be a powerful guide for any faith-filled Latter-day Saint dealing with disappointment, grief, and the disillusionment that often follows divorce. If you're new here, I'm Jansen Quote, your LDS life and divorce coach, here to help you navigate the challenges of divorce with faith, grace, and resilience. If you've ever found yourself staring at your life, wondering, wait, this is not how the plan was supposed to go, you are in the right place. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button so we can walk this journey together with faith, grace, and maybe a little laughter and joy along the way. First, let's talk about the gap. The gap is what happens when we compare our current reality to an idealized version of how our life should look. Maybe for you, that ideal version included eternal marriage, a house full of children, maybe visiting temples on your vacations with your spouse, or simply a beautiful, peaceful life growing old with your person, your best friend by your side. But now, here you are, single, maybe divorced, navigating co-parenting, dealing with financial strain, and even spiritual confusion after divorce. And this is the gap. It's that space between what is and what was supposed to be. And it can feel painful and unfair. I remember sharing this thought once in a singles fireside. No one expects to be single or divorced in middle age. Whether you're here because of divorce or the death of a spouse or because marriage just hasn't happened yet, this isn't what you pictured. And when your life doesn't match the story you thought you were writing, it can feel like something is wrong with you or that God has forgotten you. This is the gap. It's where discouragement lives. It's where we focus on what is missing. It's where we start measuring ourselves by what we lack. And that never leads to peace, my friends. I have seen this in the lives of many of my clients. One of my favorite dear clients came to me devastated after her temple marriage ended. She had pictured this life of raising children together, serving a mission, and growing old side by side with her best friend and partner. And now here she was alone at middle age, trying to navigate co-parenting and still showing up at church and being involved in all the things she used to be. And everything in her life just felt like a reminder of what she had lost. And she was living deep in the gap. Her thoughts kept circling around what should have been. She was comparing her life to the happy endings that she saw at church or on social media, and she felt like such a failure, like her life had fallen short of her plans. But as we worked together, she began to see her strength. She started recognizing that her prayers had become more sincere. She had created a peaceful, loving home for her children, and she was learning to love herself again, not just as a wife and a mother, but as an individual, unique daughter of God. That's what stepping into the gain looks like. Here's a quote that I love from Olympic speed skater Dan Jansen, who many consider to be the greatest all time in his sport. He said, "You and you alone are the person who should take the measure of your own success. I do not try to be better than anyone else. I only try to be better than myself." That's what the gain is all about. When we live in the gain, we measure progress by how far we've come, not how far we are from an ideal place or picture in our mind. We look back and acknowledge our own growth and healing and hard won lessons. We say, I am not where I want to be yet, but I'm not where I was either. And look how far I've come. This is such a powerful place to live. You may say, Jen, what about all the unfairness of it all? And you're right, it is unfair. It's not fair that some people are celebrating wedding anniversaries while you're navigating legal paperwork and lonely nights and weekends. It's not fair that your family structure shifted in a way that you didn't choose. Life isn't fair. It's a harsh reality we all have to live with. And in our faith culture, where eternal marriage and family unity and covenant keeping are such central values, it is incredibly easy to fall in the gap when your life falls apart. We often expect perfection, not just of ourselves, but of our marriages and our children, and even our faith and our testimony. So when things fall apart, it's not just painful, it is disorienting. Divorce can feel like you failed spiritually, like you no longer fit the mold. And that disillusionment can chip away at your confidence, at your identity, and especially your faith. So many of my clients have said, I don't even know who I am anymore, or how could I have gotten it so wrong when I was trying so hard to do everything right? But here's what I want to gently suggest. Your worth was never in your marital status, and your story does not stop here. Do not let divorce define you or your life or anything about you. When we stop measuring our lives by perfection and we start looking for progress, something powerful happens. We begin to notice our growth, our grit, and our grace. And we realize God is still here with us and there is still joy to be found. Focusing on your gains, how far you've come, the strength you have built, and the faith you have chosen, even when it's hard. That's where healing begins, not because the pain disappears, but because the meaning deepens. And with meaning comes hope. Elder Dale G. Renlund spoke directly to this in his talk, Infuriating Unfairness. He said, in unfair situations, one of our tasks is to trust that all that is unfair about life can be made right through the atonement of Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ overcame the world and absorbed all unfairness. If we let him, Jesus Christ will consecrate the unfairness for our gain. This is such a beautiful promise from an apostle of the Lord. He goes on to say that how and when is not always revealed to us now. And that is okay. Like Alma said, it mattereth not, for God knoweth all things. This is when we have to trust. This is when we have to grow our spiritual muscles. So, where does that leave us? It leaves us with a choice. We can live in the gap, constantly measuring our life against what's missing, or we can choose to live in the gain, where we honor our growth. We give ourselves credit for showing up and surviving hard things. And we begin to see how even our pain has led us to purpose. The gain invites you to see what has been restored, maybe not in the way you imagined, but in new, unexpected ways. It invites gratitude, it invites progress. And this is where healing begins, friend. So today I want to offer you a gentle challenge. Look back, not to relive the hurt, but to acknowledge the healing. What have you overcome? What strengths have emerged? One of my faithful divorce clients told me, I used to define myself by my career and by being a husband. After divorce, I felt like I had nothing. But as we talked and worked together, it became clear he made huge strides. He was setting healthy boundaries, reconnecting with his adult children, and even starting to serve in new ways in his ward and even in the temple. He said, I finally realized I'm not the man I was. I am better now. That is the power of the gain thinking and living. It doesn't erase the pain, but it gives it purpose and it allows you to see that healing is happening, even if the picture isn't perfect. So, what spiritual muscles have you built since your divorce? Have you cried out to God in ways that you never had before? Have you shown up for your kids when it wasn't easy? Have you done the brave thing again and again by simply choosing not to give up and staying faithful in your divorce journey? Another one of my faithful divorce clients recently shared with me, I stopped looking at my journal to see what was missing, and I started using it to track my growth. She wrote down small wins every day, like making it through a challenging conversation without tears, setting a boundary, or even feeling peace during a sacrament meeting for the first time. She said, I can see how far I've come, and I don't need to chase the ideal anymore. I just need to keep becoming a better version of myself every day, every week, every month. That's what the gain offers us, a way to move forward with hope, grounded in faith and grace. As someone who has walked this road too, I want to tell you there is so much joy ahead of you, friend. But part of it is finding it. It is choosing to look for it in the gains, not in the gaps. So keep going, friend. You are doing better than you think. You are not broken. Your life is not ruined. You are not behind. You are becoming. Thank you so much for joining me today on Find the Joy with Jen. And if you want help seeing your own progress more clearly, I would love to support you in my Faithful Divorce Coaching Program. Find out all the details and come and join me at findthejoywithjen.com. And if this video has helped you shift from the gap to the gain, give it a like so that YouTube knows it's worth sharing. And drop a comment below with one of your personal gains. I would love to celebrate with you. And if someone in your life needs a little hope today, share this video with them. You never know whose healing you might help spark. Until next time, stay out of the gap and keep your eyes on the gain and trust that God is using even this part of your story for something amazing. As you look for the gain, you will find more joy in your life. You have got this, friend. Bye, y'all.